Hey there, good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. I do apologize for the couple of minutes delay there as I tried to get the computer to come on faster than it wanted to. It's always something, eh? Anyways, we're here tonight for Into the Progverse, which is basically a show I put on every Sunday, although I haven't done it for a couple of weeks now because of some rock legend stuff I wanted to get in. And today we're going to be doing a collection. So we're going to be doing my Alan Parsons collection, my Alan Parsons Project collection. And I can already tell that I'm missing one. And I'm not sure which one it is, but I know I'm missing at least one because I know I had 9 and now I only have 8. But I think I know which one it is. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I know which one it is. Forgot to pull it off the rack. Now I'm not even sure what order it goes in, so we'll have to kind of look it over a bit here. So I believe, so I think this one goes right here. So there you go. So I've got all 9 of my Alan Parsons CDs, and I seem to have been messing them up here and going to drop them, but now they're good. There we are. We're good to go. So what I'm going to do tonight, for those of you who haven't seen me do this before, basically I'm just going to go through the collection that I have of Alan Parsons. I did this before with some of the other bands that I've done on this channel. Basically, I talk about each album in the chronological order that they were released. I have no live albums from Alan Parsons, so these are all studio albums with one greatest hits album that I got by accident, but I like it anyways. So, without further ado, we're going to get to it. So the first album, you know what, so the first album will be this one, released back in 1976. I call this the Green Album, even though it's not really, that's not what it's called. This is Tales of Mystery and Imagination from Edgar Allan Poe. So there's basically, excuse me, a total of, well, technically speaking, there's a total of 11 tracks, but the way in which they set it up means there's only really 6 tracks on this album. Sorry, got a frog in my throat. Basically, so this one's relatively new to me. I think I've gone through this the initial time when I bought it and a couple of other times since then on the Mercury label here. I'm not sure if that's the label they were originally on. I don't think it was. Polygram Records, Polygram. Okay, sounds good to me. Anyways, comes with the book, as you see, all of them will. And it's in a jeweled case, which I prefer over the digipacks. So there you go. There's Edgar Allan Poe himself. So basically, this has the entire history of Edgar Allan Poe, I believe, his chronology. And then there's a little liner story on the album. And it comes with, of course, the lyrics on each of the tracks that are on here, and also shows you who's playing what on each track. I really like that a lot because then you really can listen for that particular instrument and you can hear the sound that each individual makes. Because if you've got 3 or 4 guitarists on an album, you're not always sure which guitarist is playing what. But when you have something like this, it really is really quite good. I like that a lot. And I've heard that Alan Parsons and them really do a good job at getting as much information in a timely fashion and in a way that makes it really interesting out there. There's a couple pictures of him in there as well. So this goes back to the very beginning of their career. And yeah, I've listened to this in its entirety, maybe I'm gonna say maybe 3 times. I think that sounds about right. Yeah, I got them. So the way it worked with me with Alan Parsons Project, I started with one album that somebody had talked me into. It was Eye in the Sky. I bought it, and at first I put it in the playlist. The first time through, I didn't really like it, so I took it out. And then I found myself listening to it on a couple of occasions, and I put it back in the playlist again. And it did much better second time through. And then I started liking it. So I was out one day and I saw another one, which was, I believe it was this one, which is now getting ready to go in my playlist again. And I liked that one quite a bit too. So then maybe 2 months passed and I was at the record store I usually go, and they had almost this entire discography, and I bought all but one because I wasn't sure if it was a greatest hits. And my problem is I often forget my glasses and can't see nothing. But so I got a whole whack of them that day. And then recently I got one more. So I think I got almost all of them. I just have one. I think I'm missing 3 in total for the entire discography. Plus, I would probably include the one that was originally supposed to be their 10th studio album, but Eric Wolfson went off and did his own thing, and that album ended up being on his name only. So, anyways, this is a good album. Some good stuff on here. As big into that as some people might be. The Sweet one is quite good. I do like this. The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather. Or Feather, however you want to say it. Really good. A good debut album, I believe. Next album up is a pretty famous one. Obviously, the idea for this came from Isaac Asimov. This is I, Robot. I do like this cover quite a bit. Music on here is pretty good, pretty solid. A little poppy maybe, but not too bad. I've gone through this about the same amount of time. This particular one has some bonus tracks that aren't on the first one as well, and quite good. I believe it's also on Mercury. Well, it's not showing up as a Mercury, so I may have got, oh, this is Arista. So I think they were all originally on Arista, but, you know, I've gotten these albums from different sources, so they're not all coming through as just in their original forms. So this album, I believe, was released in '77. Again, another nice shot picture here. This book isn't as detailed as the other one, but still good. Yep, some nice stuff in here. More. And last but not least, and a list of all the songs and the lyrics to them. But this one doesn't give the breakdown from who's playing what on it. Or maybe it does. Oh, actually it does. Look at that. It does. A lot of different people on these albums. So I'm looking forward to really going and really getting into this discography quite a bit. I have listened to the entire thing. Now I finished the last 2 albums yesterday. Got them off my new list of albums. This one's pretty good. I find it a little bit poppy. Maybe it's just a little harder to absorb this one than the first one. I'm not sure why, but I didn't take it as. It does have the one song on it that I'm really quite familiar with. Is what I wouldn't want to be like you. Kind of a big hit for them, I guess, is the best way to put it. Yeah, very well-known song, and it's a song that I'm familiar with. So I didn't initially know too many songs by them. It's kind of like, to me, they're kind of like Steely Dan. I really didn't know. I knew the songs, but I didn't know who the artists were. And then I knew, of course, I'd heard of the artists, but I didn't know what they had played until I started collecting them. So next one up is called Alan Parsons Project Pyramid. released in 78. 9 tracks plus a whole whack of bonus stuff on this as well. Just looking at the tracks, sorry. Yeah, nothing really strikes out to me as being something that I really knew. But again, I have listened to this in its entirety a couple times. All of them have had at least 2 listens to. This one's an Arista label too. Albums are different on each case. Another booklet inside. This one's a little bit more like the iRobot one. Gives a little bit of story here. Pyramid Power. It's probably the Rage, because I think that was the year the Leafs had that Pyramid Power in 78. So this album was released in that year. So perhaps that's where they got it from. And almost certainly they did. This is the nice shot here like this. More pictures. And of course, you've got all your songs and the lyrics again and who played what. That's always a good thing. All their albums are like that. Who played what. I love that. Just going to put this back in, and then I'm going to look to see what I'm familiar with. So I've listened to, like I said, I've listened to all of the albums. I think The Shadow of a Lonely Man was the one I remember off of this album. I mean, I remember not liking this album as much as I thought I was going to, but sometimes that happens with albums that I end up really loving. In fact, it happens almost as much as the other way around, where I like them instantly and they fade quick. These are albums that take time to get to like, but generally speaking, I end up really liking them a lot. So I'm hoping that's the case with this one. Next up is Eve. This is the last one from the 70s, 1979. It's kind of weird. It's got the bonus track. So it's got all the tracks, the original 9 tracks, and you have to turn it up to see the bonus tracks. So it's a little bit different. Just looking to see if I recognize anything here. If I could change your mind, that might be one that I know. Again, Arista, different type of label on the inside. Another booklet. This one is very thin though, so I think it's probably just a very basic booklet. But you will look, and of course, it's got all of the lyrics again and who's playing what. That I just can't say enough about how good that is. Talks a little bit about the album and who the women were on the cover and stuff. Another nice one from 79. So they put out 4 in 79, 4 in the 1970s. And this being the last one, called Eve. Alan Parsons Project. Yes, of course, from 1979. There's a woman on the back here, too, just in case I didn't show you that. Now, any of the tunes? Yes, of course, If I Could Change Your Mind. That was the one. Yeah, good. Another good album. Going to move on into the 80s now. We have 5 more to go. This one is currently in my currently waiting its turn in my playlist. I played it yesterday. I think I've listened to this one maybe a half dozen times. So it's probably the second most listened to by me. Turn of a Friendly Card is good. I like that tune. Ace of Swords. Reminds me of those old play cards that we had as a kid. And Turn of a Friendly Card, which is part 2. There's 1 and 2. Games People Play. Yeah, we all know that one. Games people play in the middle of the night. Yeah, know that one well. And then, of course, this one has bonus tracks as well. So I think prior to knowing anything about Alan Parsons, I probably knew maybe 5 or 6 songs by them. Didn't know it was them. Now there's a nice shot here. This album again is on Arista, as you can see. Another nice shot of them, pictures, stuff. Called this the card album. And again, once again, you've got breakdown of everything. Again, once again, breakdown of all the vocals. This one's cool because it has a shot of all of the previous albums up to this one. I think includes all of them. Yep, looks like they're all here. So this is the turn of a friendly card. Yeah, currently the one in my playlist. I do like this a lot. I'm thinking this might end up being my favorite of them. Games people play, eh? This is from 1980 as well. Next up, we've got probably the one that most people are going to recognize. It's the one that got me started, which is Eye in the Sky. It's a pretty famous cover. I like just about everything on this album. Sirius, which is the one that is in my Need for Speed game. Eye in the Sky, of course, probably the most famous track by them. Psycho Babble, that's a kind of a funny song, but I like it. Mama Gamma, yeah, I like that too. And then it has various versions of the songs on the album, on the bonus tracks. Got the Sirius demo, it's a little bit shorter. The Old and Wise, Eric Wolfson on vocals here. So he does do vocals on this Silence and I, and I think that's it. Those are the two he does vocals on separately from the original versions, which are also on this track. You got a studio demo and a classic of Naked Eye pieces. So I like the back here too. Got lots of stuff on it. And this booklet, which once again, pictures of them and storylines, and then more pictures. Pretty lengthy storyline though. Then you've got the tracks all here on this page. And I'm guessing you're going to see this again. Yep. The list of all who's playing on the album. That's absolutely incredible. I like that. Can't say enough about it. So Eye in the Sky, Alan Parsons. This was released, I believe, as you can see on Arista label again. And this was released in 82, I believe. Yes, in 1982. By then, I think the reason that I didn't really get into these guys is they're kind of poppy, and I wasn't as into poppy music, although this album came out when I was right in the middle of my most, like, I can't see why I would choose Supertramp and not them, but I did. Next up is this is a Best of Alan Parsons Project album. It's got all of the classic hits. I Wouldn't Want to Be Like You, Eye in the Sky, Games People Play, Time, Pyromania, You Don't Believe, Lucifer, Psycho Babbles on here, Damned If I Do, Don't Let It Show, Can't Take It With You, and Old and the Wise. So this came out in 83 and contains, of course, songs from their first 6 studio albums here. Nice cover. I don't know what the book's like in here, so let's look and see if we see anything. Oh, this one's a little different. It's more of a, got this thing going on. It's kind of like a poster, I guess. It's got a story about the album and basically just some basic information about the songs and the tracks on here. But nothing, it's not like the other album. Has the breakdown of everything in it, but then it is a greatest hits. So probably just put together by, maybe not even by either of them. Maybe somebody just collected all the songs, put them together and orchestrated it. Maybe had a final approval or something. Who knows? So we're down to the final 2 that I have. Next one's from 1984. kind of a weird cover. This is Ammonia Avenue. Alan Parsons Project, Ammonia Avenue, released in 1984. It's kind of weird. A bunch of guys with their heads stuck in, it looks like flower pot type things. This is kind of weird. Kind of reminds me of a villain in what was the name of that villain? Paladin. I think it's Paladin. Kind of reminds me of Paladin in the Daredevil series. This, of course, is on Arista as well. Very thin booklet here, just 2 pages. So basically got the front and back, all the lyrics on the inside and outside. Doesn't really give you a list of who's playing what, but maybe they were past that by this time. Just gonna put it back in, talk a little bit about the tracks. Prime Time, Let Me Go Home, One Good Reason, Since the Last Goodbye, Don't Answer Me, Dancing on a Highway You Don't Believe, Pipeline, Ammonia Avenue. None of these tracks I recognize. I listened to this for the first time yesterday, so give myself a little bit of leeway on that. But yep, another good album. I'm going to get to the last one that I have. So this was the one that I thought I would like the most, mostly because I like the cover on here the most of any of them, Vulture Culture. This was released in 1985. 5 bonuses plus 8 regular tracks. Nothing here I recognize as far as regular radio play songs. We do have, this one is also Arista. It's got that snake swallowing his tail thing going on again. And it's a normal booklet, picture of both of them. A little bit of story about the album and Alan Parsons. A little bit more of a story, some pictures. Then you've got the tracks, and again, you have all of who played what on it. Another great thing. That's something that I really like when I'm listening to, like when I'm listening to an album, I can actually hear who's playing what. And then when I'm listening to it, I can pick it out, which is good. Teaches me how to listen for stuff too. So yeah, another nice picture here. And that's it. That's my entire Alan Parsons Project collection. I do have 3 more to get to complete the studio discography. Obviously, there's other live ones and stuff too, which I may get, but I would like to have the entire discography. So I've got 8 of the 11 studio albums. And so for me, my little bit of history with Alan Parsons for me started, obviously I heard these songs in the 70s and 80s, but didn't attach the name of the group to them. But I liked them, but I never really went out and looked for them either. They were just radio songs that I listened to. When I got into the when I got on YouTube and opened this channel, then people started suggesting this or that. And Ben actually suggested I use the Eye in the Sky in one of the Battle of the Bands that I did for Alan Parsons. So I did. It was a pretty solid album. I happened to be at the record store and it was on sale there as a used copy. I thought, yeah, I'll take this one because I knew the one song on it. So I bought it, brought it home, like I told you, and I put it in the playlist. It was in there for maybe about 2.5 or maybe 3 months, and then I took it out because it wasn't really catching on with me. And then later, maybe 5 or 6 months later, I put it back in, and then it took off, and that's when this whole thing started to explode for me with them. Kind of similar thing. I use Steely Dan a lot because they've had this similar kind of evolution for me. In the case of Steely Dan, I got that from Sea of Tranquility, and he was talking about the album. And then I was out one day and saw one of their albums. So I thought, I looked on the back and I seen the one song I recognized. Ricky Don't Lose My Number. So I bought that album, and I liked that album so much that it kind of started the explosion for Steely Dan for me too. And I'm hoping the same kind of thing will happen here with Alan Parsons Project. So when I never really thought of Alan Parsons Project as a progressive rock band, but clearly they have a lot of progressive elements in their music. Yes, there are a lot of poppy elements and other elements, electronic elements, even little jazzy parts to them as well. But generally speaking, they do have quite a bit of progressive rock to them. So that's what kind of motivated me to go that way. Anyways, you can see that I'm barely staying awake today. And I'm not sure why I had a lot to do. I didn't even shower or shave today. I just decided not to bother. But we'll get back to the regular routine tomorrow. 5:30 comes early. Anyways, thank you all for supporting the channel, and hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, watch the episode after. You can do that by hitting the notification bell so you don't miss it. And we will be back next week here on Into the Progverse with yet another topic. I have a couple topics in my head. I will probably upload them before I go to bed, so that you have a bit of time to see what it is I'm going to do. Anyways, take care. Have yourself a good evening and a good night, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.